Good morning, Margarita. Thanks for reaching out. How's COVID treating you? I feel like all I've been doing is watching Netflix and baking banana bread. COVID is something else, isn't it? So, I've audited your HD operations, and while the pandemic has shut down the primary hospitality channels, the good news is that there's a 59% category growth surge in retail, and HD needs to capture some of this growth. Now, I looked at our current infrastructure and it's challenged. We're at 100% utilization on the West Coast, and our lead times for critical raw materials like hops and cans will start to increase. To protect our 64% margins and our 22% EBITDA, I'm proposing an operational resilience roadmap. Let me pull up that roadmap right now so you're able to see it. So, phase one is solve. They're critical issues that we need to mitigate immediately. First priority is rebalancing inventory by moving safety stock from the East Coast to the West Coast. This will provide us with a little bit of buffer that'll prevent stockouts on that West Coast. Then, really, we need to look at SKU rationalization to prioritize producing high volume, high margin SKUs. We also need to address some sourcing vulnerability. We need to find a local hop supplier because our current hop supplier has a 45-day lead time, and that's because they're located in Germany. If we diversify our hops growers, we'll reduce our raw material lead time, and that'll give us agility to respond rapidly to market shifts. Now, that second phase is scaling for partnerships. Now, I know that in your call to me, you referenced thinking about building a new factory, but honestly, that could take years. Instead, I recommend that we partner with a West Coast co-packer that has the competitive advantage of making alcoholic beverages, right? That's all they make. So their OEE is always going to be extremely efficient. Now, if we go this route, we can audit and finalize a co-packer, hopefully in around 3 to 6 months, ramping up production. Some of these co-packers actually have established relationships with other distributors who have relationships with off-premise markets. Some of these off-premise markets are natural grocers like Whole Foods and Sprouts. Now, if we go that route, this will drop down our transit costs and allow us, once again, that agility to respond to demand spikes. Now, there's also a lot of unknowns, right? I know it's COVID, everything is unknown. So there's a chance that we could face rising co-packer fees or supplier fees. So we'll need to start monitoring our gross margin and EBITDA as much as we can, especially as we start to execute. Now, the final phase is secure, right? And it's really securing what the future looks like. And for us, I think secure really means securing that mass market channel like a Walmart or an Amazon. These channels require high volume and logistics efficiencies that we'll have to establish. And to do this, we'll have to integrate real time POS into our planning, like Nielsen, IQ, Circana. There are a couple others that are out there. Now, I don't expect you to remember most of what I'm telling you right now. So I'm sending you a document that has my findings and recommendations. I also want to meet with your cross functional leaders tomorrow outside of our IBP meeting to discuss next steps in detail and how we can divide and conquer. An example of dividing and conquering is having your marketing leader handle the athlete sponsorship, right? We can agree on how we execute that sponsorship in our IBP meetings when we have mapped out those first two phases of solving and scaling, right? And then we can secure more inventory for those social media activations of this A-list athlete. We need to solve inventory and capacity issues immediately. That is our number one goal. We also need to scale partners with new channels, co-packers, distributors that are growing during this pandemic. And we also need to invest in POS systems. We need this technology to secure future mass channels. Now, I know it's a lot of information. So once again, I'm sending you an email with it, and I'll see you tomorrow on our chat. Have a good one.